Liberal doctor tries to help refugees to prove they're peaceful, gets nasty thank you for her service. We're only into the first half of Ramadan and already the Muslim population is going nuts with an increased number of terror attacks as they believe killing during their holy month results in more rewards from Allah. But despite the massive slaughter of innocents being perpetrated by these savages, liberals are still eager to open their borders and hearts to these barbarians, in an ongoing and idiotic effort to prove that Islam is a religion of peace. Well, now a bleeding heart liberal from the Red Cross who tried to help refugees in Germany has just become intimately familiar with the religion of peace, in a brutal lesson that has tragically cost her her life. Germany has been leading the charge of insanity over the past year, as the treasonous wench controlling Europe, Angela Merkel, is hell-bent on transforming her country into a third-world country %. Whole. In addition to benefits and perks, refugees are given full access to complete medical care, where Red Cross workers are on site to tend to their every little whim. For whatever reason, Germany thought that refugees needed therapy, as a way to cope with living in a place not covered in goat and camel crap. So when an unassuming Red Cross psychologist met with a Syrian 30-year-old refugee to discuss what was on his mind, little did she know that their meeting would tragically be the very end of her life. Brandishing a knife, the unnamed Muslim began savagely attacking Doctor, where he stabbed her repeatedly until she was dead. Emergency responders tried to save her, but she was already dead when they arrived. The Muslim was later apprehended by authorities, where then predictably, they began to whitewash the incident, making the asinine conclusion that the reason for the attack was unclear, refusing to link the stabbing with terrorism. Pamela Geller has more. An employee of the German Red Cross, DRK, has been stabbed at a therapy center for refugees in Saarbrücken. The murderer is supposed to be a 27-year-old Syrian, who was arrested after a short flight in close proximity to the crime scene. The refugee broke into the argument with the counselor on Wednesday, then stabbed him with a knife, as the police reported. The 30-year-old psychologist still died of severe injuries in his workplace. Other employees tried in vain to revive their colleagues. The trigger of the dispute was initially unclear. The alleged perpetrator could not be heard yet because he had been treated in the hospital with serious injuries, as a spokesman for the Management and Location Center in Saarbrücken said. Terror is not at all in the game, said a spokesman for the police. The man from Syria lives in Saarbrücken and according to the police in the morning came to the psychosocial center for refugees and migrants of the DRC in the district of Barbach, where traumatized people get help. Whether he first came or had been in treatment for a long time was initially unclear. The employee had been part of the team since 2014 and worked for the psychologically oriented Project Hope, which supports traumatized people with a new beginning. On the DRK website stood in the afternoon, Red Cross mourns for employees. The police believe that the 27-year-old Syrian killed a 30-year-old man working as a therapist in a counseling center for traumatized refugees. The migrant allegedly got into an altercation with the Red Cross psychologist during a therapy session, and stabbed him. The victim died at the scene. While the reason for the attack was not immediately clear, officials do not believe that the incident was linked with terrorism. Spokesman for the Saarland's DRK National Association spoke on the incident, saying that it was quite terrible, and that the concern with the colleagues is very, very high. President of the German Red Cross also gave a public release, saying that everyone is shocked and that compassion belongs to the family. When are the people of Europe going to wake the hell up and demand that Angela Merkel be tried for treason for willfully bringing terrorists into her country? If this woman wins another term, all my compassion for the German people will be completely gone at that point, as it's evident that terrorism is what they truly desire.